Hi, everyone. Welcome to another interview in honor of the 75th anniversary here at HRAF. Today, we are pleased to have Michele Gelfand with us. Michele is a professor of organizational behavior at the Stanford Graduate School of Business and professor of psychology by courtesy at Stanford University. And Professor Gelfand is a cross-cultural psychologist, very familiar with HRAF and HRAF world cultures. Welcome, Professor Gelfand. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I want to extend my warm wishes for a happy 75th anniversary to HRAF. As you mentioned, I'm a cross-cultural psychologist. I received my PhD at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana with Harry Triandis as my advisor. And I study how culture evolves and its multi-level consequences for human groups. Actually, my first introduction to HRAF was through Harry Triandis in 1990. Harry was a firm believer that we need to use multiple methods to test our research questions so we can triangulate on our findings, given that there's so many rival hypotheses when you're doing cross-cultural research. And he was a huge fan of HRAF. Fast forward about 25 years later, and I had the great fate of being introduced to Carol Ember through a mutual colleague, Claudio Chiaffi-Ravella at George Mason. At the time, Carol was putting together an interdisciplinary team to study climate change through NSF, and she asked me to join the team. And the rest is really history. I consider my work with Carol and the team to be one of the most enjoyable experiences and highlight of my career. Before we met, I was studying basically a construct that is called tightness and looseness, or the strength of social norms in modern societies. Actually, before I started this work, I encountered some work by an anthropologist, Puerto Pelto, who published a paper in 1968 on the concept in non-traditional societies. And I kind of took off where he left. I developed a theory of tight, loose in modern societies, which we later published in the journal Science. And one of the key issues that we were interested in was what causes the strength of norms to evolve, tight societies versus loose societies. And one of the things that we discovered was that one predictor of tight and loose has to do with how much threat a group has experienced chronically in its past, whether threat comes from Mother Nature, like disasters, or it comes from human nature, like invasions. In the science paper, we showed a relationship between threat and tightness, and we later started exploring this with evolutionary game theory models and also across levels of analysis, whether it's from nations to states, to organizations, even to neuroscience and to neurons. With Carol, what we did was very exciting using my beloved HRAF, which was to test the generalizability of this theory in non-industrial societies. And this was a very exciting project. We brought a team together, including Josh Jackson and others at Yale, to code ethnographies in HRAF for different domains of tightness, whether it was socialization or gender or marriage or ethics. And what we found was that we could actually replicate a good part of the theory of tightness in modern societies, linking threat to tightness and also examining how it influenced other phenomena like support for authoritarian leadership and intergroup conflict and moralizing religion. And also the great benefit was to examine phenomena in non-industrial societies that's harder to examine, if not impossible, in modern societies like the role of complexity and kinship systems. So with that said, we now have not tired of working with each other, and we have gotten other grants to study things like resilience in societies through Minerva Grant, to study trust through a Templeton Grant. And I just want to again thank Carol, thank HRAF for all that you've done for my career, for the field at large, and the wonderful opportunity that it has provided us. So happy anniversary.
Thank you so much. And I'll just say, at HRAF, we're all very familiar with your work on loose and tight cultures. It's in Explaining Human Culture, of course, our database. And we also talk to students about it. I teach at University of Connecticut. I teach undergraduates in cultural anthropology, and every semester I talk about your research, and they love it. They think it's really fascinating. So you are well known here at HRAF and at the universities that teach with our databases. So we want to thank you for the contribution that you've made to these endeavors. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I can't wait for the next 25 years of HRAF.
Here's to that. Thank you so much. All right. now I'm trying to find, this part will be edited out. I'm trying to find the stop recording here.